Boy, what's going on, guys? This is Eric Hits for the win. You know, one of the best lines in God of War, and this might be mild spoilers, not really, it's so early in the game, but if you don't want to know this line, just don't listen for like 5 seconds. But the best line is when Kratos says, "Don't be sorry, be better." I think that's my new go-to now. When people say sorry to me, "Sorry I was trolling, Erica." No, don't be sorry, be better. But yeah, I am really enjoying God of War, in case you haven't noticed. If you're not following me on Twitter, maybe you were curious. How is Erica liking this game? I'm loving this game. The combat, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth. I mentioned it briefly in my other video where I was talking about the give me a challenge difficulty and how, you know, just the encounters can be pretty tough. I can just imagine on the give me God of War difficulty. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but more power to you. I respect it. So yeah, I'm playing on Give Me a Challenge, which is the second hardest difficulty, and it's pretty balanced in my opinion. I feel like it's not too hard to where you just feel like this is never going to happen. There's the hope there. It's like, oh, I just need to play a little bit better and I'll get it down. If you're used to challenging games, if you play games like Dark Souls or these kinds of games on the hardest difficulty, you played, I don't know, Uncharted on crushing, you played Last of Us on the highest difficulty, you probably want to have some challenge in this game. And I feel like Give Me a Challenge is perfect. Because you're going to die your fair share, but you're not going to spend the whole afternoon dying on the same part. It's pretty damn good in my opinion, and I've been liking this difficulty a lot. So yeah, the combat, let's just start with that. It starts pretty basic. Obviously, you know, you have the axe, and it's pretty much what you saw before. I don't want to spoil later on in the game, but if you've seen the previews, you've seen trailers, screenshots, whatever, you know that he uses the axe. He can throw the axe, and you can call it back. You can have your heavy attack, your light attack, and that's pretty much it. And you can block, right? That's kind of the basics at the beginning. As the game progresses, of course, you're going to unlock different kinds of moves and combos, and then with Atreus, the son, him using his bow and arrow, he also starts to do different things as you go as well. And so the combos and just the flow of the combat really gets more interesting as you go, and that's what I'm really liking about this game, because I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to upgrade things or how much of, you know, variety I was going to have, but so far it seems it's at a good progression, and I'm noticing differences in the combat. Even when it's just Atreus sometimes doing his own little moves, I can use that to complement what I'm doing, and that to me is really fun. There was a moment, and I'm probably going to put it right now, what you're watching right now. The combat was so good in this moment, and I hope it's not some kind of spoiler. I don't think it is. It's just a simple encounter. But man, Atreus was doing his thing and kicking off enemies and throwing them. I was getting them in the air and able to like take them out in the air. It was awesome. So there's those moments where it's just the combat is just flowing so good. And the more you progress, the more you're going to see more of that and more variety. So that's good to know. I'm sure on your, you know, on your end, I'm sure you want to know about the variety and how, you know, how good the combat is. I'm really enjoying the combat. Like I said in my other video, I expected it to be decent, but I didn't know I was going to love it this much. I actually really, really love the combat in this game. I mean, coming from somebody who plays a lot of games where you use the light and heavy attack on the trigger and on the bumper buttons, you know, this is perfect for me. You can change it though. If you want to change the buttons, you can change it to square and triangle if you'd like, if you want those attacks on those buttons. And also you can change the action button and the dodge button, which is what I did, because they start you off on default where the action is on circle and the dodging is on X. And I didn't like that because, you know, I'm used to games where I'm dodging with circles. So I switched those, and man, it made the combat perfect. But I'm still using the light and heavy on the trigger and bumper. That's just natural to me. But if you're somebody who likes the buttons for those, you can definitely do that as well. So there's some options there for you. You can't completely map everything out, but you definitely have some options. So just in case you were wondering, let's talk about the story. Oh, the story. So I'm about 6 to 7 hours into the game. I haven't really been counting, but it's around there. If you've played the game, I just beat the 3rd troll. I don't think the trolls are very spoiler-ish, right? Because you guys know trolls are in the game. They're not technically main bosses. So if you can kind of figure out where I'm at, I just beat that troll. So that's where I'm at. And so far the story, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to describe because it's like, besides explaining why they have to leave and why they have to go through this crazy place, the story at this point is kind of in the dynamic between Kratos and Atreus. What they talk about, how Atreus responds to Kratos and vice versa, that is pretty much the story right now. And I know that sounds simple, and maybe from the outside you're kind of thinking, what? Like, what kind of story is that? No, it's good. Like, I love the dynamics between these characters, kind of wondering who the mother was. I think that right now is kind of my biggest question. The bosses and how everything's kind of unfolding as far as who they meet in the world is building the story. And I think it's one of those games where as you go and you progress, you're learning more as the characters are at the same time. You're learning with them. Like, I kind of feel like I'm in Atreus's shoes and I'm kind of wondering, okay, what is going on here? And as he's learning, I'm learning. And it's really good. So to me, that's kind of the story at this point. There's not really that traditional, where you open up the game and it's like, oh, this happened before and now Kratos is on an adventure to do this. It's not really like that. It doesn't do that. It's just sort of between that dynamic of these characters, and as they're progressing, you're learning with them. And I just think that's really awesome. It's not forced, it's natural, it makes sense. Even the characters that come into the game, they don't seem shoehorned at all. They make sense, and it's believable, and it makes you just fall in love with the game more. I mean, that's what's happening with me. I'm really enjoying that story aspect of the game. The graphics, do I even need to say anything? The graphics are absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best games I've ever seen, ever. And even on the regular PS4, because that's what Kenny's playing on, I was watching him play a little bit. And granted, we have a pretty good TV that he's using, but man, it looked just as gorgeous, because I'm playing on the Pro, but when I was watching him on the OG PS4, it looked just as good. You know what I mean? So yeah, the graphics, absolutely gorgeous. The sound, the music, so good. There's a character, I mean, you guys have seen it in the previews, but it's a big character, and when he talks, the vibrations of his voice just, wow, it just sounds so good. So yeah, the audio is on lock. It sounds amazing. What else can we talk about? I did story, combat, looks, sounds. What else could I say, man? The hype, the hype for this game was through the roof. We all know this. The hype was out the door in another world. And so to play it and have my expectations so high, and to have those expectations not only met, but just completely go over the moon. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, my expectations were blown away because I am just loving everything about this game. I can't seem to find any flaws so far. It's just gorgeous, and it plays gorgeous, like I said, with the combat when it's really flowing and everything. The challenge, of course, I think adds to it, but that's just me. I don't know if any other people would feel that way, but I like having that little bit of challenge. Some people just want to play through the story and see it and not have any trouble. You can definitely do that. So it's got a difficulty for everybody, and It's just, damn, it's done so well. I think the dialogue, I know I already mentioned it, but the dialogue is so good in this game because it is the story at this point. It's really pushing the narrative, and it's done well. The voice acting's done really well. The first boss, once you see the first boss, if you're not impressed by that first boss, I really don't think you're a gamer at that point. Like, I'm gonna be real. If you play that first boss and you just think, it was okay, no. We're gonna have to check that gamer card. That first boss was incredible. Probably one of the best first opening bosses I've ever played in my life. Just really done so well. The attention to details, the destruction, the physics, everything that's going on in the game, the transition from cinematic to gameplay, you can't even tell which is which because it just flows so naturally. It's one of those where it's like just the one camera take, I guess you could say it that way, where it's like you're looking at a cinematic, then all of a sudden you're playing, you're like, oh shoot, I can walk now, because it's like, it looks the same, it looks beautiful all the time, and it's just one of those games where you're just so immersed. Nothing is taking you out of it. Of course, if you're playing the most difficult setting, that could probably do it because you're gonna die a lot. But in terms of just the game, if you're playing it, you're not dying, you're just playing the game, you're gonna be so immersed, and nothing's gonna break you away from that. I remember listening to like Greg Miller, and I didn't watch a lot of reviews, but the ones I did, the people, you know, I read their tweets and things like that. I kept it to a minimum, but a lot of them said, you know, a lot of things don't feel forced in this game. Everything that's bad about games is not in this game. So they meant like forced characters, bad dialogue, you know, cheesy moments, and things that you can kind of do without in a game like this. They're not here. So far it's proving true. I feel like all the good things that make good games is in here, and all the bad things that we kind of could do without are not here. And I completely agree with that. If you have a PS4 and you're not playing this game, I don't know what you're doing. I really don't know. It's incredible. It's a great game so far, and I just cannot wait to play more. So I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna turn on my PS4 Pro and I'm gonna keep playing because it's a damn freaking good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think about God of War in the comment sections. No spoilers, because you know people are gonna be reading the comments and all of that. The spoilers have been crazy for this game. They're spoiling the last boss. I just don't know what's up with people. Like, I've put a video about a troll, but we all know the trolls are in there. I put a troll in the thumbnail, but it's the first troll. And I'm talking about the third one. You know, I'm playing against the third one. So I try to do my best to avoid, you know, spoiling things for you guys. I haven't put any screenshots on Twitter. Some people out here, they're putting screenshots and they're well ahead of me. And I'm just like, damn, I don't want to see that. Unless it's on my file, I don't want to see it, you know? I want to see everything for the first time when I'm playing, you know? So I completely understand if you guys are avoiding my videos or anybody's videos, because I mean, hey, I'm with you. But yeah, I try to do my best to not spoil things. I hope this video was just the same as that, and I didn't want to spoil stuff. So thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Talk to you guys later. Peace. And I hit my mic, sorry. Peace. Bye.